In what continues to be one of the most enduring rivalries in MotoGP history, Marc Marquez has once again stirred attention, not with confrontation, but with reflection. The Ducati Lenovo rider recently named Valentino Rossi as one of the riders he would include in his dream starting grid, a surprising admission given the tumultuous past between the two. Despite Rossi retiring from MotoGP in 2021, the echoes of their infamous clashes, particularly the explosive Sepang clash of 2015, still reverberate through paddocks and grandstands alike. Even now, more than a decade later, the rivalry remains etched in fans' memories. And in Italy, it's far from forgotten. At Mugello this year, Marquez was greeted with boos as he climbed the podium after a stunning victory at the Italian Grand Prix. The tension was unmistakable. Italy, Rossi's homeland, has not yet forgiven what many of the Doctor's loyal followers still view as a betrayal of their hero's legacy. Despite efforts from figures within the sport to bring closure, the icy relationship between Rossi and Marquez remains a talking point. Even Francesco Bagnaia, Rossi's protégé and the face of the current Ducati factory team, has tried to calm the flames. After being defeated by Marquez at the 2023 San Marino GP, Bagnaia attempted to ease crowd hostility by gesturing for calm, subtly urging fans to separate personal allegiance from sporting achievement. Ducati team manager Davide Tardozzi has also weighed in, clearly frustrated that the rift has yet to mend. "I don't want to revisit the incident from 10 years ago, it was 50-50ths in my eyes," he said recently. But at some point, two champions like Vale and Marc need to look forward. I would like to see them shake hands. The past can't be changed. However, those hopes took a hit when Rossi reignited the controversy last year during a podcast with Andrea Migno, one of his VR46 Academy riders. In a rare moment of bluntness, Rossi called Marquez the dirtiest rider I ever raced against, citing the events of 2015 when he lost his shot at a 10th world title. Meanwhile, Marquez has done his best to distance himself from the feud. Though often diplomatic when discussing Rossi, he's admitted to growing weary, particularly when the bitterness spills over onto his younger brother, Alex Marquez. Still, Marc has never publicly retaliated in kind. In fact, his mention of Rossi as part of his dream race lineup suggests a complex relationship built not solely on animosity, but on a shared history that defined an era. "My dream starting grid would include Dani Pedrosa, Jorge Lorenzo, and Valentino Rossi," said Marquez. "They're the riders I grew up racing against, legends. Then Casey Stoner and Mick Doohan. That's 5 names already, so I guess that's my dream 6, he added with a grin. Marquez's comments can be interpreted in multiple ways. On the surface, they seem like a gesture of sportsmanship, perhaps even nostalgia. But they also represent a subtle reclaiming of narrative. While Rossi has continued to fan the flames of the past, Marquez is positioning himself as the bigger man, willing to honor his old rival as part of the same elite legacy. Interestingly, his dream lineup includes riders he both admired and battled: Pedrosa, his longtime Repsol Honda teammate; Lorenzo, his compatriot and intense rival; and of course, Rossi. By naming Rossi, Marquez isn't just acknowledging greatness, he's recognizing that their careers are inextricably linked. Whether through controversy or competition, both pushed each other to their limits. Dani Pedrosa's inclusion also deserves mention. Though he retired before Rossi, Pedrosa returned as a wild-card rider with KTM, even finishing ahead of Marquez in last year's Spanish sprint race. His part-time returns were a reminder of his quiet brilliance and why many consider him the greatest rider never to win a Premier-class title. But Rossi and Marquez remain the main event in fans' minds. Tardozzi's plea for reconciliation may never materialize in the form of a handshake, but Marquez's latest remarks suggest that, at least in his mind, the best way to honor a rivalry isn't with bitterness, but with another race. And perhaps that is Marquez's ultimate message: if given the choice, he wouldn't argue with Rossi. He'd race him again. What's clear is that this rivalry, however fractured, has shaped an entire generation of MotoGP fans. For many, the sport's golden age was defined not only by lap times and titles, but by the psychological warfare between Rossi and Marquez. From Misano to Sepang, their drama extended beyond the racetrack, into press conferences, team strategies, and global headlines. But time has moved on. Rossi has taken on the role of mentor and team owner, shaping the next wave of Italian riders. Marquez, now at Ducati, is fighting to reinvent himself after years of injury and frustration. The sport itself is evolving: faster bikes, younger talent, and more complex rivalries. And yet, echoes of the past still linger. As long as grandstands erupt at the sight of number 93 or chants of "Vale" rise from the crowds, the legacy of their rivalry will remain alive. Whether or not they ever shake hands, both men have already sealed their place in MotoGP history, not just as champions, but as icons of a rivalry that transcended the sport.